I've been watching professional boxing for nearly 25 years. And in all that time, I have never seen a fighter who has had so many opponents pull out of fights with him than Dereck Chisora. Because his latest opponent, I'm not even going to bother pronouncing the guy's name. Not because I can't pronounce it, but because at this point it's irrelevant. Right? Chisora's latest opponent for his fight in February has pulled out. I mean, Chisora, it's incredible how many guys have pulled out against Dereck. It's unbelievable. You know, Vladimir Klitschko pulled out twice against Chisora. People forget that. People rightfully strongly criticize David Haye for his track record of pulling out of fights. But Vladimir Klitschko pulled out 2 fights with Dereck Chisora and then went on to fight David Haye. And as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, both the times that Klitschko pulled out, there was bogus excuses. You know, even though he got doctors to sign, you know, show scans and all that kind of stuff, you know, call me whatever you want to call me. But me personally, I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I don't believe Vladimir was injured. I saw him a couple weeks later playing golf, and I don't believe that he had any serious injury, especially not to pull out twice and then go fight David Haye. No. So Vladimir has done the same kind of thing that David Haye has done. He hasn't done it as frequently, and he hasn't gone to the extreme lengths that David Haye has gone to, but he's certainly done a similar kind of thing. He's messed a fighter around in Dereck Chisora. He put him out of the ring for a year, made him pay thousands and thousands in training costs, and you know, Dereck can't afford to lose that kind of money. So I don't know why Vladimir don't get as criticized for that behavior as David Haye does, because, you know, all's fair, man. You have to be consistent with it. You can't ridicule and criticize David Haye for doing it and then let Vladimir Klitschko off the hook. That's complete double standards, right? Vladimir deserved to be criticized. But anyway, that's a side note. The main thing is Dereck has had an unbelievable amount of people pull out against him. We know Deontay Wilder pulled out. We know that, God, there's so many opponents, I even lose track. But there must be, in the past 3 years, there must be at least 6 or 7 times that Dereck Chisora has had opponents pull out on him. It's unbelievable. And I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's maybe Frank Warren is not paying the opponents enough money. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe they see something in the contract that they don't like, and then at the last minute they think, no. Frank Warren is trying to pull a fast one. So I don't know if it's an issue with Frank Warren or just incredibly bad luck. I don't know what it is, but it must be extremely frustrating for Dereck Chisora. And it's never ideal preparation to be going into a fight against an opponent who you haven't had a whole training camp to prepare for. It's never ideal. You know, it's like the amateur days, and the only parallel I can make to Dereck Chisora's situation is in amateur boxing. Because in amateur boxing, anyone who's boxed amateur knows this. When you fight as an amateur, opponents pull out all the time. It's very common. You know, it's very common for amateurs, unless you're taking part in, you know, a tournament. It's very common for amateurs to, you know, train for a fight, build themselves up, only for their opponent to pull out the day before. Sometimes on the day. Sometimes when they get to the venue, the opponent pulls out. Right? That's very common in amateur boxing. Okay, because no one's getting paid at the end of the day, so people don't really care about pulling out fights and what have you. Whereas in professional boxing, it's not as common and frequent as it is in amateur boxing, because in pro boxing, a lot of money goes into it. A lot of money goes into the promotion. A lot of money goes into training, and people want a return for their investment. So fighters don't tend to pull out as much in professional boxing as they do in amateur boxing. But still, I feel for Dereck, man, because he's in a situation where, you know, opponents are pulling out left, right, and center, and it's clearly not his fault. It's something to do with either his management, his promotional team, or I don't know, he's cursed or something. Who knows, man? But I'll be interested to see who they put in there to replace him. We know that Tyson Fury and Dereck Chisora is a fight that is being lined up by Frank Warren for the summertime on Box Nation. So I doubt that Frank Warren will want to bring that fight forward to February. I don't think so. I think he wants to build the fight up and make as much money out of it as possible. And having the fight in February is just too short a time to promote that kind of fight. So I'm not sure who they're going to bring in instead as a replacement, but if it's going to be a defense of Dereck Chisora's European title, it has to be an opponent that is European ranked, and you know, in the top, what is it, top 10 or top 20 or something like that of the European ranking. So it has to be someone fairly decent. So we'll see who he ends up fighting. But yeah, man, bad luck for Dereck Chisora, and you know, drop your comments below. Let me know how you feel about it. This is Hatman. I'm out.